Welcome to the dialogue. I'm Derek. This is Andrew.
Hello there.
And today we're reviewing Risen. Risen is a movie about a centurion guard, and he is the one who was tasked with securing the tomb of Christ after he was crucified. As Providence would have it, Jesus Christ rose from the dead, and this man is now having to find the body.
So I think we should maybe have a spoiler alert on that.
Well, it's the Bible, man. Everybody knows the Bible. Everybody knows this story. No spoiler alerts. If you don't know the story, it's the greatest story ever told.
That's right. So there's a couple of things that I actually really liked about this movie. So I'll mention one of them being there's a few moments that really hit you really well. And for me especially was like the Great Commission Ascension scene is what I'll call it. That just has a really big impact because of the story going up into that point and you kind of being with a centurion and then somehow getting to see this yourself and interacting with it in that way. I also really like the point of view they take, especially in the first half of the movie. It does kind of change. It's one thing in the first half, and then the second half of the movie is kind of another thing as you journey with the centurion. But taking it from his perspective and coming into it, not really even knowing this guy, and you don't even know about the miracles or anything like that. It's just another prisoner that you have to deal with. Another person that they wanted to execute. Also, as far as content goes, there's no language, sexuality at all. There is violence, and it's rated PG-13, I think, for that, biblical violence. And I really like the way they handle this because I would say what's going on in the scenes is some of the most horrific stuff. Obviously, you have crucifixion, you have like them breaking their legs, you have a lot of dead bodies seen too, like corpses that are kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
But the camera doesn't dwell on these things, and it doesn't make it grotesque. So while there is a lot there, it's handled really well.
There's a lot to talk about in this movie from a theological perspective and knowing the Bible as a Christian, and then also from the perspective of just wanting to critique the movie for what it is. The movie as it stands is all right. I mean, it's all right quality. It's theater quality. The acting is good. By the main character. I really enjoyed him.
Joseph Fiennes.
Yeah, Joseph Fiennes.
Joseph
or Fiennes. I guess.
Fiennes.
I don't know how you say his last name, but
Spay it.
It is what it is. Spay it. I don't know how you say it.
I like him too.
But I really enjoy him. He was in Luther, which is another kind of offshoot of a Christian film. He was really good in that. He has one of the most convincing prayer scenes in that movie, and he delivers in this movie as well with his performance. I enjoyed him seeing the struggle of trying to find Christ's body, but also struggling with this inward, I guess, problem that he's facing with who is he and is what he's looking for actually, I guess, I don't know where I'm going with
it. He's like, there's a line in the film about him trying to find peace and
inward peace.
A day that has no death in it.
Yeah, and a day that has no death.
And they play with those themes really well.
Yeah. I'm actually going to say that the Ascension scene was something that I didn't like, and the reason I didn't like it was because, biblically speaking, and this is where like Christian theology and what I know of the Bible comes into play, but in the Bible there's like a ton of people that saw Christ. In this movie, there's not. And that's one of the critiques that I would have about this movie is that if you're looking for something that's exactly like what the Bible says, this is not the movie, but it is very faithful, I would say, to the message and themes of the Bible. So just know as a Christian that it's not going to be exactly what the Bible says, but it is right up that alley. So
rating this film is a really hard thing to do, as with all films, for me. And I kind of want to go in between like 7 and 8, but I'm not supposed to break the rules.
Don't do that.
So I'm gonna go with 7. Like, it's a really good movie that I would watch again and recommend to people.
Okay. I'm actually gonna go a little bit lower, and that's just because of a couple of the things that I mentioned. I don't necessarily like the fact that it wasn't like as biblically accurate as it could have been, just because I have a lot of friends who don't necessarily identify themselves religiously. And you know what? I don't think it is the best portrayal of the biblical narrative. So if you're watching this and you're one of my friends that doesn't necessarily read the Bible, there you go. It's not accurate necessarily speaking. The message and themes of the movie are, but I would give it a 6.
All right, guys. So comment, if you've seen the movie or haven't seen it and just want to comment, you can do that. Like, subscribe, all that sort of jazz. And join us next time on The Dialogue.